All right, we are here at my VermiHut indoor worm bin, and check out that depression right there. Last time we were in here, we fed a whole peach right in the middle, and I have a feeling they have eaten most of it. Now, it has been 12 days since we were in here last. I meant to get in here at about a week's time, but we had a hurricane come through and we had to prep for that, etc. So we're gonna go ahead and dig in here and see how everything is going. Now, Sandra from Nana's Worm and Garden had asked if during the hurricane, if worms, reacting to the pressure changes had tried to escape, that kind of thing. And so I was looking for it. This is an indoor worm bin. So the pressure is still gonna change, but it's not as dramatic as being outdoors. And actually there were 2 worms that I found just at the base of the worm bin. So yes, I guess they did get a little crazy. And I opened the lid and a lot of them were on top and on the side. So I think they did react to that hurricane that came through here. I'm in Tampa, so I didn't get, the major effects of it like the folks down south from us did, but it was still a pretty harrowing experience. All right, so we fed several other items, more fast food type things. So on the sides, we're seeing a little bit, and I did put some toilet paper rolls, I think 4 of them, almost like ribs through here. So we're gonna check that out too. But I think before I go any further, I'm gonna dig right underneath and see if there's any of that peach left. And let's lift and see. It has been 12 days, so they may have been able to get to all of it, but let's look. And sure enough, oh my gosh, right there is the peach seed. So 12 days, and they have eaten the whole entire peach. And there's a little worm ball, maybe around whatever remnants are left. So yeah, 12 days and a whole peach. It was frozen, but it was overripe and had a little mold on it, but they just took care of business. So I would definitely put peach in the fast food category. Apples definitely don't go that quick. That is really remarkable. Yeah, wow, all the way down to the seed. I mean, this looks like it's just some castings on the top of it. Or no, well, it's kind of attached. So that right there, that's what's left of the peach. Just a little bit of fibers attached to the peach seed. So pretty cool. I'll leave this peach seed in here for a while, and maybe I'll try and break it up. All right, let's keep going through the rest of the feeding, and then another commenter had asked, if I could look underneath because perhaps some of the juices went under. And just real quick, here is those toilet paper rolls. We wondered if there was going to be a whole lot of worms in them. Certainly it's gotten moist. And yep, they have just brought a whole lot of castings in there and a lot hiding out in this particular one. I'm just going to rip it up a little bit more to help it keep going. Here's another one. And same thing. These were completely empty. I just kind of smashed them down a little bit, but just from all the castings that are in here, you could tell there's a lot of traffic going in and out of them. So if you have any toilet paper rolls, you can put them in your worm bin, and they certainly like them for bedding. Wow, a bunch of worms right there. Let's check this one out. And it is also full. That's just so amazing to me. The amount of worm traffic that has to produce this much castings inside an empty toilet paper roll is just kind of amazing. So I think there's one more. Let's see. Oh, there's that mango seed. It definitely feels like there's less and less fiber on it. Whoa, I'm making a mess. Inside, a whole lot more worms. Oh yeah, right inside there. And they're eating the seed leaf in there and the cotyledon, so we'll just let them finish that up. And then here we go. Here's the last toilet paper roll. And exactly same thing. Lots of stuff in between it. So let me go ahead and brush my glove and hand off here, and then let's look underneath and see if there was a bunch of worms right down there, right where the peach was, maybe getting some of the juices. All right, so off comes this tray, and the tray underneath here is the pre-harvest tray. Right about here is where the peach was, so I do see some there. Let's just kind of dig under and see if we see a lot of worms. And there's quite a bit of worms right there, so that was a good idea. I bet you if I was in here about 4 days ago that there would probably be a whole lot more worms. It's just a matter of that peach being gone. So while I'm here, I'm just gonna take the opportunity to kind of fluff this up, and then we will put that other tray back on top. All right, back on top goes this one, and let's go ahead and mix this all up and set up our feeding zone. All right, so we're at the 55-day mark for this top tray here, and it is really full. It's almost to the top here, so that is good. We're gonna go ahead and put some bedding down and get our feeding going, but this tray is looking really good to, go down to be the pre-harvest tray in about a week to 2 weeks time, even though it's only had 5 feedings so far. So let's go ahead and get our bedding in here. I think I'll start with a paper towel roll first, and then we'll go ahead and put some shredded cardboard that I shred just from our different boxes and newspaper, etc. that we get. And I'm just gonna push this down a little bit so I've got room for the food. So since they like peaches, I've got several peach halves, so I'm gonna put about 3 in right now. There we go, 1. Put that one the opposite way. And there we go right there. Also got a piece of watermelon from them since they did such a good job on that other experiment. We'll put that in there for them. And then here's just some of our normal food scraps. We've got a banana peel, which is a particularly slow food, and then lots of kind of spinach and lettuce. That's a fast food. So within this feeding, they've got a good amount of fast and slow food. And here's an onion, just kind of pulled apart. We'll leave that in there for them. That may take a little bit of time, but again, this worm bin has about 4,000 worms, so they won't have any problem with this onion. If you only have like 500 worms or even 1,000, that's probably a little bit too much onion to put in at one time, just because it takes them longer, and onion has kind of a pungent smell, so if they're not eating it, it might radiate some smell. Got a little bit of a tomato top there, and then some more lettuce, and we've got some strawberry tops here for them. This looks like a lot, but this lettuce will be gone in like 2.5 days tops. So I think this... That's enough. All right, I got a this enough whisper out of the executive producer, so I'm just gonna hold off. And that will be our feeding, so let's go ahead and add some amendments real quick. So the first amendment we'll add is just a little bit of worm chow, and I'll put that right on top, spreading it very lightly and evenly. I don't want to put a big clump of it on or anything like that. And that worm chow is just a bunch of expired dry items from my pantry, and this is some coffee grounds, another food source for them. Just after I make our coffee in the morning, I just put the grounds right in here. And then finally, we'll put some grit in here for them. And this is pulverized eggshells, just a good way to get rid of my eggshells and get some of the nutrients from them into the garden. And the worms also use them as grit in their digestion. It helps them make bigger food smaller. So I think that's a pretty good feeding for them. We'll go ahead and bury this up. And I just want to, again, thank Nana Worms and Gardens and Mosca Trails for, putting in some suggestions. I read all your comments, and if I see something I think would be really interesting, I go ahead and try it in the worm bin. So I appreciate that. Keep sending those to me if you have any ideas, or you've tried something in your worm bin, or you're interested to see if something had happened. And a lot of times I may have already done it in one of my other videos. So yeah, keep on giving me those comments. I really appreciate it. So I think that will about do it for them. You know what? I'm going to put some worm chow on top. Occasionally I'll come in here and check on this every couple days, and the worms just absolutely blow through this worm chow within probably day 2.5. Really remarkable how much they like this. But again, I just put a little bit on top. And then let's see if we can make heads or tails out of this top paper that we had on here. I think, whoa, we got a little bit right there and a little bit right there. And I think I'll put another one on top. Well, I didn't do a very good job of ripping that, but I hope you're having a great day. I hope your worm bins are doing well. So happy vermicomposting, everybody. Take care now.